Hey guys, welcome back. We've got to talk about Opendoor stock today. Today is a very exceptional day here. It's actually hard to believe, but this stock is up nearly 80% today. Things have been absolutely crazy. Just zoom out to the 5-day chart and you're going to be seeing that massive trend coming in today. Like I say, up nearly 80%. It's quite amusing because yesterday when we were looking at the stock in the early afternoon, we were looking at stock prices like $6, right? Ever since, this has absolutely shot up. A really amazing day. There is a reason for it. Many of you will know what it is. However, if you don't, or if you want a bit more clarity on it, we'll be speaking on this over the course of this video. I'll be giving you a little bit of my opinion. As always, though, remember this is not financial advice. If you do enjoy these videos, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe. It does help the channel a lot. Anyway, let's just jump straight in. Now, we're not going to do a technical analysis here for reasons which you can probably understand. You know, this stock is so much on a new trajectory, it almost does not matter. However, if there is one thing that I'd like to see here, it's a new level of established support. You know, you've got that potential for that 944 mark that we've seen. Everybody knows that for a psychological reason, staying above $10 would be absolutely great. Again, it's about seeing now how much of this growth we can ultimately hold onto, and that's going to be really interesting to watch in the next few days. But you know, a lot of people who were aware of Opendoor stock before are very happy right now. You know, their portfolios have gone up a lot, and a lot of people who have never heard of this company before, it may now be on their radar. You know, this is absolutely trending all over the markets, which is a good thing. Now, what is this? Where does this come from, and what is going on? Well, we spoke about this briefly yesterday, but to give you a bit of a recap. Now, this came after Opendoor names Kaz Nejatian, I believe it is, as the CEO. Essentially, they have done a massive shake-up of the business, and this is absolutely very interesting. So, to sum this up, we've got a new CEO. We have the founders also rejoining the board. So it is Nejatian, I think it is. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, okay? But that is the Chief Operating Officer of Shopify, is set to lead the company's next chapter as an AI-powered real estate platform. Keith Rabois and Eric Wu bring back founder DNA to the company, with Rabois appointed chairman. So this is really interesting as well, because we're also seeing a lot of financing coming in, $40 million to be exact. Now, why this is so interesting, and of course, a lot of you will be able to understand this, but there's a number of reasons, okay? So we've got a lawyer turned entrepreneur and product leader, an AI native executive with a track record of transforming products, teams, and companies at scale. He joins Opendoor after serving as Chief Operating Officer and Vice President of Product at Shopify. Obviously a very big company, where since 2019 he's helped to build teams and products at one of the world's most important commerce platforms. He is exceptional and a great operator known for driving significant operating leverage and increasing speed of execution. He's a leader in the craft of product management and has helped build products used by hundreds of millions of people every day. So that in itself is going to be a major, or he is going to be a major asset to the brand. Again, that's very interesting. At the same time, we are seeing the company announcing the appointments of Opendoor co-founders, Keith Rabois, I think it is the name, Managing Director at Koshler Ventures, and Eric Wu, co-founder of Navigate AI. These are now on the board of directors, effective immediately. Now, Rabois is set to assume the role of chairman, and Eric Feder will continue in his role as lead independent director. Now, these two have co-founded Opendoor in 2013 and intend to inject founder DNA. So why this all matters so much? This is huge. Like, this is absolutely massive for this company for a number of reasons. We can talk about the founders coming back, but most importantly, this sets the company on a new direction, and it sets an absolute newfound optimism in the future of this brand. We knew that Opendoor was likely to do well anyway. We've seen people assuming that Opendoor stock's going to go to 50, 60. I've seen some projections as high as $82 in the next couple of months or years. And whilst all of that obviously could have been true or could be true, this now massively changes things. You know, we've got extra investments coming in, which is also great. That's going to potentially help accelerate growth. You know, Opendoor is entering into a securities purchase agreement with Koshler Ventures and Mr. Wu to invest $40 million of equity capital through a private investment in the company. The company intends to use the proceeds to fund continued investment in the business. Now, this as well cash injection, right? Essentially everything that you'd want to see for a company like this. It's actually quite impressive, to be honest, right? Everything that you'd want to see for a company like this is coming together perfectly. And yesterday into today, because remember, a lot of this growth came into the after hours, and then obviously a lot through today as well. All of this is coming on good news, on very, very good news, on a news which may potentially change the trajectory of this company into the long term. Now, going off of this, right, based on what we are seeing, is it possible that we may see Opendoor stock drop a little bit? Of course it is. You know, that's not me being pessimistic. I'm a big bull on Opendoor stock. I've said this for a long time. But this is a stock that's up like, what, almost, again, 80% in the past day. I wouldn't be worried if this one was to drop. And the only reason why I say that is because even if it does go up tomorrow, I'd like to get that out of the way. A lot of people become very, very cautious when stocks drop because they end up buying in at the top. This stock has gone up 80% in one day. I would, of course, urge caution into the next couple of days. However, with that being said, I think we're in a position now where Opendoor stock trajectory is absolutely very, very different to what it was only literally, technically a couple of hours ago, right? Literally 24 hours ago or less, we were looking at Opendoor stock maybe hitting $6, $7 range. Now we're looking at that being more like, you know, 10, 15, and 20, and if we can actually remain these levels. So again, a psychological push around $10 or remaining above $10 would be great. Although if we break down and go back down to the 950s, 920s, I'm not too concerned there. This is a huge day for Opendoor. This is going to massively, or has the potential to massively influence things and change the strategy of the brand going forwards. Again, this is going to massively transform everything. So we've got this speed, and this is important because as well, Opendoor stock needs this. They need to have this degree of precise execution, given the history of high operational costs. This is going to be big, in my opinion. Okay, this is going to be big. This is a very, very interesting company anyway. You add in that extra financing, you add in that extra expertise, you add in that extra potential here, and now you add to the stock, you know, on the technical side, the amount of people, the amount of volume, the amount of interest in this thing right now. There is a lot of big potential here. And I think we all knew that anyway. We knew that when it was $5, we knew that when it was $6. But now we're seeing this, you know, we're seeing this in a very, very different way. And I think it's all coming together very nicely to present us with an interesting period into the future for Opendoor stock. So you're going to have to let me know what you think to this one in the comments, guys. Again, no technical analysis really tonight, not much point, but I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you in a future episode too. Goodbye.